Alright, welcome back everybody. We are starting right where we left off on Assassin's Creed Black Flag here. So let's get started.
Might I have a word, sir? I've been needing coin to set up the shipyard, Captain. The faster I have the needful gold, the sooner our ships will rule the waves.
So the people with the arrows over their heads here in Great Iguana are the ones we can buy our upgrades from. The Great Iguana now has a harbor master. Let's talk to this guy here.
I'll not play duck and drake with you, Captain. I need coin to build a little emporium. I'd be ever obliged, and a local shop would bring in many a useful ware for you as repayment.
Alright, the general store for 700. I think we can spare that.
Spare me your jugs, just a wee bit. The men do sorely lack a place to do their wenching and debauching. With a little coin encouragement, I could have the old place Bristol fashion, and a flow of rum fit to obliterate a good tar proper like.
That sounds good. Something like a tavern. A tavern, a general store, and a harbor master right here.
Old salt proud, Captain. Been making it worth your while too. Long Ben's bones curse me and I don't.
Thanks, I guess. Yeah, anyways, all three of them right here. Right where we're gonna dock and stuff anyways. Let's go take a look at what else is around that we can upgrade.
A good captain. He takes care of his men, yes? The sailors are a peu dissatisfied that there are no women of comfort here. I know just where to find them, but we need to build them a home.
The brothel is a little too far out of our budget.
Been thinking, Captain. Why not build ourselves a grand old bonfire by the beach? The lads would be in better cheer if they had such a spot to let loose. You savvy?
I do savvy, but how much is it? 7 grand? Are you kidding me? I paid 700 to build that piece over there. Why do I need $7,000 for a small fire that I could go into the jungle and get some sticks for? What the heck is that all about? Alright, anyways, enough with that. We're going to go up here and we're going to explore the house a little bit. There's a couple of upgrades to it, so see what we got going on here. I mean, by the look of the old place, seems
still doesn't quite feel like home.
Pretty nice. Upgrade the structure, and again, it's outside of our budget. What do we have here? Just a table. I think that next upgrade that I saw earlier was outside. See what it's about. Is it out here? I don't... We have a nice backyard, though. I forgot why Julian needed any of this. Alright, well, since we're back here, I might as well get this synchronization point and take a look at our little spot here. Alright, I think now I'm going to actually collect what's left on the island here. The first notable thing that we get to is this message in a bottle. It looks like it's been dug up by these fine gentlemen. And this one is number 1 on my name and origin. To any and all who read this missive, know first that I am Tom Kavanagh, born in 1652, formerly of Boston, now of the world, living in the year 1706, taken to isolation long ago, in the place of my ancestors, in pursuit of peace and steadiness of spirit. My story is a singular one, though I make no claim to greatness or nobility. Yet there is such an amount of strangeness in my blood, it bears mention, with the wish that a better understanding may come from my situation, and with hope that if there be any others in the world who suffer the same perturbations of mind as I have since birth, they might find in me a kindred soul and a friendly voice to guide them to the calmer shores of sanity. In plain words, I was born a creature of 2 souls, one being my own, newly minted and fresh upon the world's stage, yet the other being an old and wise thing, a soul as old as the universe itself may be. 2 souls, therefore, in a single body, competing for supremacy. For as long as I have been a thinking being, I have felt these 2 tides stirring within me. How this mysterious incorporation should have occurred shall be the subject of future letters. Alright, so Tom here is giving us his life's backstory through all of these messages. Alright, anyways, with that, we'll continue on. There's only one really other thing on the island that I'd like to show off. Other than that, it's just treasures and whatnot. Okay, so it took me some time to figure this out, but if you can see there, we're on the side of the property here that's like the opposite of the mansion. You go up these trees, down into this cave, down the slope, and we find our treasure map on this poor soul here. And there we have it. I would assume that that's not our house. Maybe it is. Well, I guess we'll find that out later. It's got the coordinates on it, so we should know which island it's on at least. But anyways, with that, we've gotten everything we can on the Great Iguana. I'm sure we'll be visiting here regularly to resupply and build up our home. Of course, until we go back to England. That's Edward's goal here. But for now, let's continue on. Before I left, I decided to upgrade a few things. The swivel cannons, the heavy shot, the storage for a couple of things. Yeah.
Some bit of business, that.
Did a little bit of upgrading. And now we can move along. I want to go out ill-prepared.
Captain, we found a trove of nautical maps and ledgers and the like, scattered about the village. You'll find them sorted in the captain's quarters of the Jackdaw. Quality stuff.
Nautical maps and ledgers. Might come in useful. We decide to build up a fleet of our own.
Exactly my thinking, Captain. Have a look for yourself and tell me what you think.
Alright, so we get a couple of things down here in the captain's quarters to look at. Basically, we can create a fleet of our own. I've actually already done this. That's why we got those messages right away after he said that. So, we're about to come into a lot of money very quickly because I have an entire fleet. And they've been running missions for me for a while now. And as you can see, it just kind of keeps on going and going. So we're getting quite a bit of cash without actually doing anything because of I played this before. Alright, now normally I think that we only have a couple of these unlocked and then you kind of unlock more and more and more. But again, I've done all that. So we're just going to go to the toughest one. And, well, maybe not the toughest one. This route isn't too bad. You can see here in orange it's dangerous but not crazy. We can take our ships, select which ones we want to fight, and they can create an area up for us. And that'll make it safer for our ships to travel through. And boom, with that we are victorious. And as you can see up in the right-hand corner, the hazardous level has gone down, and we have acquired some goods. And we can do this to almost all of the missions, or whatever you want to call them here, until they're all in the green. Most of them just jump right back up to the red, so it might not be worth it. A lot of the times my ships, as long as you've got the right tactics, sometimes you can just make it by... oh, I mean, sorry, not the right tactics, but as long as you have the right ship, they'll go through these hazardous ones without any trouble. I needed some supplies to trade and sell, so I did a couple more of those, but now it's time to send our ships that we've acquired out on missions. Things to be looking for are the amount of cargo space and the speed that they have going on for them, along with their firepower. That'll be kind of down at the bottom. I looked for mostly money because of upgrading our own ship. They used to have an app for this. It was kind of cool, I guess, but I don't think that it exists anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, as you can see here, you know, you can repair your ships with these little diamonds, which I have plenty of. And then you can send your ship out, they'll come back, give you the money, or they could die and then you have to get a new one. But most of my ships, I make sure that they're at least above 80% success rate, and then I send them on out. It takes up to 10 hours, maybe more, maybe less, to complete these missions here. Anyways, I think you get the gist here. So, oh yeah, the last thing, I guess, that I'd have to say, because I'm not reading them out, there's a lot of these quests, and they all come with their own little, I don't want to say backstory, but their own little blurb of why they need to be done, or whatever, and some of them are pretty interesting. They don't really add too much, but, yeah, they're interesting, so maybe take the time to read a couple of them. I read some of them. I don't think I read all of them. But anyways, moving on. And with that, we can exit the fleet map and go back to the Jackdaw wheel. talk to Aude. As you can see here, we have 42,000 reals. It's definitely useful or beneficial to be doing that. There's no audio. Give me just 1 second. What's our course today, Captain? It's a fine day for any kind of mischief. What's your feeling? I'll make no secret of wanting to see the British brought to heel. If we can take their gold and put it to use ourselves, I'd be a happy man. Spoken like a true Welshman, Aude. What's your aim? Okay, I fixed it.
Prize he was eager to show me down in Tulum. Quite some distance, mind, on the Jackdaw Peninsula.
You trust him to play it fair?
I can't be sure. He has a way of picking away at my conscience that gives me pause. I should go see him soon.
So long as we take some prizes along the way, I'm sure the crew will understand. I'll set a course for Tulum.
Well, it sounds like we're gonna go to Tulum, but we should satisfy the crew
a hump like a snowhead.
and do some other things. Ooh, it's a level 3. Should we try it?
Unlash the harpoons.
See what we can make happen here. Maybe I should have upgraded our boat and stuff before doing this, considering we got in a ton of money.
We have him on the line!
Hold tight, lads!
It's a hit!
Ooh, it is a hit, but he does not go down fast.
Yes!
Coming on, stay! Watch it! The
I
tail!
doubt that we're going to make any headway.
Bow!
We're going to give up on this one.
Damn! Let's get back to the ship, lads.
We'll get him next time, Cap.
We'll have to upgrade our ship before we decide to do that again. Or, well, our harpooning stuff. We're actually going to go ahead and do what Oddwally said, and maybe hit up some of these other islands while we head over to Tulum. I don't know if we're going to it's a restricted area. Perhaps we won't go to this area here. If we can find a way around, maybe we'll go, but we'll see where we end up. You know what? Screw it. We're gonna head over here, and we're gonna see if we can take this guy. And we're gonna get that island explored.
We're ready, sir!
I'm not really doing the smartest thing just staying here, but I guess it worked out. We took them down. And now we just need to infiltrate the island.
Toss them in! Muzzle them!
And out the sail! They're so exposed! Take the shot! Drink! It's thundering!
Where's your bones? We're coming together!
Since we need some repairs, I think that we can board this one. It's funny that the two captains don't count as crew members. Almost missed that jump. Alright, let's make some quick work of these guys. And with that, we've taken the ship. We can now repair our Jackdaw. We get a nice little tidy sum of goods before entering the island. And yeah, we can take care of that stuff. Well, while exiting this area, I decided to take a look at the island. Looks like a plantation up there. It turns out that this place is Tortuga. There's a bunch of stuff here for us to get. So that's what we'll be working on. The first thing we come up on here in Tortuga is a Mayan ruin. We can get up on top and interact with it. Do the little puzzle here. This way. There we go. And there it is. We can collect our prize and move on. Okay, while we're raiding the plantation, we just got the key, but I figured since I was here, I might as well synchronize with this viewpoint. And after that, we can loot the warehouse. We got a nice little pile of goods that equal out to about 2,400 reals. Now we're off to collect the last couple of things on the island, and then we will move along. While collecting, we can find a treasure map next to a skeleton on the beach. And the very last thing, he'll be fine, he didn't break his legs at all, is a message in a bottle here. This one is message 8, what the voices said. Here I relate one such memory, repeated ad nauseam through the whole of my life. Myself, a man, and 2 women. A woman says, as biological traits are passed from one generation to another, why should we not engineer the humans to pass learned information on to their offspring as well? It is well within our scope. And here another woman interrupts, never! Already we have made them sturdy and strong. Why should we gift them with new advantages over us? We are dying. The war is tilting against us. We should discover a means to our own salvation, not theirs. And here the man disagreed. Our time is done. The instruments of our will shall soon be our masters, and we shall fade away. Perhaps not in 10 or 20 years, but certainly this century is our last. Why not therefore gift the humans with added faculties for wisdom and growth? Why not let them pass on accumulations of their learnings from one generation to the next? By ever ascending degrees, the humans shall be as wise as we are. And here I am to speak. It can be done by simple manipulation of the code within their blood. We could improve their lot. And here the second woman screams, absolutely not! And then the memory is ended. I have a strong feeling that this would be Minerva and Juno and Titus was his name, I believe. We We don't hear much of him yet. Perhaps later on we can learn more about him and what his actual name is, since I forgot. Now that we're all done here, we can get back to our ship and head to whatever's next. After taking a few prizes, sinking a few ships, practicing our sea warfare, and getting pushed into a storm, as you can see here, just on the outside of a restricted zone, we find ourselves at a little island called Cumberland Bay, where you can see has a couple of things that we should be collecting on it. So that's what we're going to do right now. As you'll see in a second, Cumberland Bay here is protected by somebody. And that somebody is not us. In the back you saw some sails. That is a galleon. We had to sneak past them into a restricted zone, hide for a minute, and then get onto the island. Lucky for us, we managed to pull it off. Now loot the island for everything it's got. Of course, on the beach we find Skeleton Friend with a treasure map on him.
Fortune's favor.
That one looked very unique. A Aztec temple of some kind, perhaps. Next up, we can find a message in a bottle. And we can also proceed to throw the bottle on the ground, not caring about the future at all. This one is number 13, another frightful reverie. Here I relate another reverie. Myself and a woman. "Beloved," said she, a voice so intimate and familiar, "our colleagues conspire against us. They dither and sigh, resigned to their fates, content to champion the humans. But there is hope for us. There is a chance we might inure our bodies to the chilling world, the poisoned atmosphere, and the war itself. Will you aid me? Will you submit?" And here I hear my own voice in answer. "Yes, beloved, what must I do?" "Transference," she said. "The shuttling of our minds from these old bodies into new forms, mechanical bodies perhaps, or into those of our instruments, our humans. In short, I believe there may be a way to transfer all we know and all we are into other forms. In this way, we may survive the coming cataclysm and live to see our people repopulate the earth and recover her from those we foolishly set loose upon it." "Transference," I said aloud, "our minds into alternate vessels. A dangerous prospect, but reasonable. Yes," she said. "And who better to make this leap than you, my beloved husband, with a mind unparalleled, a constitution unrivaled, architect of the observatory, overseer of Eden's tools, the brightest light in our civilization. If you are not capable of making this leap, perhaps no one is." And here I replied, I will do this for you, beloved, for us and our people. So, that must have actually been what they said to each other. On the last game, not with the last actual big game, so Assassin's Creed 3, when Desmond found that table and Juno was talking to her husband saying that he sacrificed himself and like nothing came of it. Well, something must have come of it. It must have been her little test for her to stay alive. And so now, so now she's gonna, now that she can go on to live while he dies. And of course, we know from the last game that she, did that without, thinking of the consequences, or maybe she did and she just didn't care, because they're humans and whatever. After taking a few more prizes and practicing our naval combat once more, and just peacefully sailing along, we can head over to a smuggler's cove that's not too far from us. We're not homeward bound, boys. We're smuggler's cave bound. The only thing of note we find here is this treasure map. And then we can move on after collecting everything. We sail past a beach here, which happens to have another message. We can pick it up, litter, and read what's inside. This is message 17, taking my leave. After my difficult counsel with Balaam, I took a day to ruminate on what should be done. Notions, strange and uncertain, battled in my head for supremacy, and I was never on one idea long before its opposite seemed a better option. Yet at last made my decision. Sir, you have been gracious with me, I told him, and my trust in you is complete. Yet I cannot share my visions and memories without first understanding them myself. I must therefore take my leave and travel in secret to a place that has occupied my thoughts for many years. Balaam smiled and said, I understand well, and I believe in your cause. To find the source of your reveries will do you great good. Go, therefore, and answer these riddles. We will provide you with supplies to see you safely embarked. To which I replied, Thank you, sir, and if what I find satisfies me, I will return hither and provide you with answers that may satisfy you as well. In the days following, Balaam was true to his word. With his young son, Atabai, in tow, he transported me first unto a fishing village near his own compound, and supplied me with maps and coin before issuing a warning. The Templars are lately come to the West Indies, and this Torres is their Grand Master. And though few now in number, there must soon be others. Take heed of them, and trust not their entreaties. For what they cannot earn by conversation, they will take by force. And with this, and a hearty goodbye, I took my leave of the assassin, and set out for parts unknown, a vague sense of purpose pulling me forward. We passed by a fort earlier. We can read about it. In a region teeming with privateers, buccaneers, corsairs, and pirates, as well as several warring European empires, fortifications were a necessity for almost every settlement. Notable examples are Dry Tortuga, Eleuthera, Castillo de Jackdaw, Charlotte, and several more. Next, we've got smugglers' dens. The numerous small caves scattered throughout the region were used as secret smugglers' dens. Some of these are only accessible by going underwater. Then they have the several examples as normal. We have also made it a point to hunt a little bit. The hutia is a large rodent unique to the Caribbean basin. The hyuta varies in size and often forms distinct species from island to island. Hutia are hunted and eaten, spiced in a stew, either with onions, green peppers, tomatoes, and garlic, or with honey and nuts. RL makes a note here. Here's an idea. What if we had a section in this database for authentic recipes? Next we can land on Isla Evachi. And it has some good stuff on it. First off, being a treasure map. Wow. Just wow. Next up, we can synchronize with the viewpoint on the island. Next on the island, we find Cortez and La Malinche from the history of Tlaxcala, a painting of Herman Cortez, explorer and conquistador, previously owned by Mr. Peter Beckford. And that's really it for this island, so we can collect what's left and move on. Before heading out, we can talk to the harbor master, who happens to be on the island, sell our goods that we've acquired. And as you can see here, we are doing pretty good with the goods that we have right now. Most of them give us over 10,000. Once we're done selling off stuff, we can go about buying upgrades for the Jackdaw. And with that, you can see that we've upgraded our ship as much as we possibly can, with the exception of a few here and there that we don't have the money for, or lack the supplies, or need some plans or prerequisites before we can get it. But since we're still here at the Harbor Master, we might as well fill our storage with as much as we possibly can. before heading out. And with that, we can move on to whatever our next destination is while we're waiting for time to pass until we can visit Captain Kidd again. Now that we're all upgraded and our harpoons and boat are upgraded, I think we'll try our hand again at harpooning.
It's a humpback!
Ease off the wind!
That's hunt, lads.
There's our prey!
Rope secure, Captain!
That's right! You see that, lads? Success!
Get him before he
See that, lads?
Well, essentially it goes like this for a while.
You see that, lads?
Eventually goes down,
No!
breaks the
Damn
rope.
it!
We gotta look for him. He does kind of attack
Anyone
our boat.
hear that?
We just gotta look for that spot right there. And boom, you can get him again. If you get him in time, he doesn't wear your boat. And he's latched back on where you can continue the harpoon.
Success! Ha!
Like so. You can see here we've already got him pretty weakened.
Watch it!
We
The
still
tail!
have 30 harpoons left.
The grand is gunning for us!
Please, sir!
He does not.
He's gonna sink us!
And I don't think so. We're pretty good still. Alright, staying on the lookout again. Uh-oh. I hear him. Oh, he's way out there.
I see him off the starboard bow!
Gotta get a good aim here before he gets to us.
Secure the rope!
A couple more
Here we
hits
go!
and he'll be done.
One more and we're done!
And we got him.
Look at the size of him!
A fine haul today, sir.
We can take down the white whale as well. We also find ourselves aboard a Spanish ship. And proceed to take that over. Continuing in our harpooning, we can take out a bull shark and the hammerhead. While exploring a smuggler's cove, we come across a message in a bottle. It is number 5, my deepening predicament. It is with deep sadness I should now relate the genesis of my feeling of great isolation from my parents, even at so young an age, and my powerful sense that I was much different from them, meaning that though they had borne me and raised me, I seemed not of their issue, nor of their kind. And the reverie described previously cast this feeling in a firmer mold. I seemed not to be of this world at all. Indeed, there were days when I felt not remotely human at all, but of another kind of creature entire. Between the time of my 4th year and my 14th, I was given to such a profusion of reveries and ideas and dreams that I should sound mad to describe them. Yet by outward appearance I was as normal as any lad, and further was never particularly troubled by what crossed my mind. Visions of great cities made of glass, portraits of beautiful men and women in great flowing robes, machines that generated lightning as easily as thunderclouds, vehicles that flew in the skies as birds. As I say, ideas and visions too fanciful to be entertained by any sane minds, yet all too real in my head to be ignored. These are hard to read. They read as if though the person writing them can't actually write correctly. So it's pretty tough. Next we can view the hammerhead shark, found across the world in tropical and temperate waters. The hammerhead's unusual head shape gives it increased sensory ability to detect its prey. The hammerhead does not attack humans, although it can be lethal if provoked. Next up we have the humpback whale. Known for emitting complex sequences of haunting moans, the humpback is a large whale, up to 62 feet or 19 meters long. They migrate from the poles to the equator seasonally and travel in pods. After the humpback, we have the sperm whale, an enormous variant of a bull sperm whale. This fearsome animal has been spoken of and written about for centuries, so it comes as something of a shock to find a true specimen here in the early 18th century. The American author Herman Melville would write of just such a whale nearly 150 years on. Could it be that this is a distant relative, or the devilish creature himself? Note, is this real, or is it something the designers stuck in for fun? DM. ML responds, saying, if the tyranny of fiction is too much for you to handle, find another occupation. And lastly for now, we have the bull shark. So called because of their short snouts and their tendency to headbutt prey, bull sharks are commonly found in warm, shallow waters. They are extremely aggressive and dangerous to humans. The females are larger than the males, and adults measure well over 7 feet or 2.15 meters long. And now I think since we're all done there, we'll take a break,
Captain has the helm.
exiting the Animus, to see if we can't find any more secrets laying around of Sturgo Entertainment's little, studio. Pulling up our tablet, we find that we have one new message from Evan Dean, researching something. Hey there, buddy pal. What's that they've got you researching over there? Hush hush? Top secret? Good for you, you Abstergo protege. You. At least they trust someone. Glad it's you. Looking at the map on our level, it seems that there's a couple of computers that don't have anybody on them.
I think the idea.
I don't know if they had anybody on them before, but since they don't now, let's go ahead and hack into them. This one's a little bit different than some of the other ones. And I see what goes on. Alright, and this image here shows us an Antikythera mechanism. And it appears that's what it's supposed to look like, and maybe that's when they found it. Originally assumed to be an analog computing device built for the purpose of determining the future positions of astral bodies, Abstergo Industries scientists have recently discovered that the Antikythera mechanism is merely one small portion of a much larger tool. A so-called prognostication machine thought to have been used by the first civilization to make probability-based predictions of future events. It has been confirmed, for instance, that our precursor race used such a device in conjunction with their inherent precognitive abilities to locate and contact Mr. Desmond Miles, the source of the Sample 17 strand, for purposes that shall remain classified. It is also known that due to the nature of these quantum probability measurements, that such machines would have been exceedingly difficult to use, and that many hundreds of thousands of trials would have been needed to peak such great distances into the future. Next, I believe we have the Baghdad Battery. There it is. A mystery that has puzzled scientists for decades. The Baghdad Battery's ultimate secret has finally been discovered. This year, researchers at Abstergo Industries determined that these batteries contained, at one time, a synthetic precursor element capable of producing power by harnessing energy generated by the passage of time. Eerily similar to what theoretical physicists have called time crystals, this unknown crystalline material was able to generate tiny but unlimited levels of energy simply by siphoning energy from the passage of time itself. Though minute, the resulting power was likely enough to power a small LED, resulting in a humble but incredibly efficient means of producing light. To date, a functioning precursor time crystal has not been located. Let's see what we have next. Ooh, that's a new one. And I think we see what that is. Blood vials. Little is known about the function of these blood vials, though dozens have been found since Abstergo took an interest in their recovery at some point in the late 1980s. To date, only 3 have been found with their original contents intact, and of these, only 1 contained a confirmed sample of precursor DNA. Abstergo Industries executives have expressed a particular interest in locating more precursor DNA and, if possible, samples of our so-called mitochondrial Eve. As far-fetched as this sounds, please take special care to identify any vials you might stumble upon in a memory replay. Unfortunately, as the average half-life of DNA is a mere 500 years, any sample old enough to belong to either source 80,000 years or more will have degraded well beyond usefulness. We suspect it would require a minimum of over 250 similarly preserved samples and a heck of a lot of luck to sequence an entire precursor genome. Though the true figure is probably closer to 500. And next up, we have some sort of crystal skull. It looks like there's a vial inside of it. Crystal skulls. Well, there you go. These ancient tools have been found on a few separate occasions at alleged precursor sites throughout the world. All are communication devices to some degree, though 3 distinct varieties have been discovered so far. The first crystal skulls worked much like the mobile telephone devices we use today. These allowed multi-node communication between all who possessed a working device. A second crystal skull was later discovered to have a record and playback function, meaning a user could record and send audio-visual messages to multiple parties as frequently as he saw fit. A third set of crystal skulls discovered only recently seem to have acted as passive monitoring devices, much like televisions in a multi-camera surveillance system setup. As yet, the cameras on the opposite end of this setup have not been found. It's unclear why these communication devices were designed to resemble such a macabre piece of anatomy, but we have no reason to suspect that our precursor race, as intelligent as they were, didn't occasionally fall victim to gaudy fashion. And next up, we have a disc. And we remember the disc from, was it Revelations? Memory seals. These devices, powerful in function but limited in scope, were used by the precursor first civilization to record brief memory impressions, which could then be played back or re-experienced by another user at a later date. Judging by their scarcity, fewer than 40 have been found or accounted for. It appears that these seals were not wielded casually by the precursor race, but were intended for use only by the wealthiest and most powerful members of that society. To date, no seals containing recorded precursor memories have been found, and only a few have been known to contain any information whatsoever. The seals were used by the assassin Altair Ibn Ahad to pass memory information to Ezio Auditore da Firenze, are suspected to be functional to this date, but as of this writing, their whereabouts are unknown. As a point of interest, it can be revealed that many of Abstergo's early breakthroughs in genetic memory technology came about through close study of these artifacts, although current Animus technology is not based on their architecture. And here we see a book of sorts, the Voynich manuscript, of course. A fascinating puzzle as yet unsolved. We are deeply interested in finding the person or persons responsible for creating this magnificent and mystifying tome. All researchers assigned to European subjects living in the 15th and 16th centuries should be advised to pay special heed to any mention of this rare and valuable artifact. Though recent carbon dating has given the manuscript a birthday of 1405 or thereabouts, Abstergo Industries has uncovered highly classified information that complicates this theory greatly. One subject of great interest to us in this endeavor is the English philosopher Roger Bacon. Whew, well, that was quite a bit. But also, most of those objects are real. I mean, they've been altered and stuff for the game, but I could see how, like, the disc would be, like, a sort of recollection of events or something, like a story. It obviously wouldn't be, like, jumping into somebody's mind like a recording, but, you know, you could look at it and say, okay, this is the start, and let's see what happened. It would take forever to make one, but still, yeah. Once we get past security, we can find a presentation. First, it says, Olivier, here's the initial presentation I received. It's a little light on facts, but these guys know what they're doing. We'll know more when they arrive on Monday. Let me know if you feel like attending. Signed, John. It looks like it's from Bloom to Abstergo. Why now? Why wait? Why Bloom? As the world's foremost innovator of high-tech, high-performance communications and security technology, Bloom stands poised to reshape the way we think about information security architecture, ISA. Specializing in everything from mobile telephones to home computing to digital imaging processors to networked security systems, we take great pride in the fact that we helped create most of the markets we now dominate. And nowhere is our expertise more apparent than in our flagship product, CTOS. A groundbreaking proprietary security software operating system. So what is CTOS? Confidential privacy is a security. Integral, how did we ever do business without it? Accessible, the touch of a button. Available, we're everywhere, all the time. Stable, it just works. Put simply, CTOS is the most stable and user-friendly software security controller ever devised. Can Abstergo afford to pass up perfection? The CTOS dream, the Bloom promise. A dozen cities, 100 major corporations, 1,000 small businesses. For almost a decade, CTOS has served its clients' need with a track record unparalleled in the modern age. How do we do it? Durable, ultra-light HD cameras, ultra-speed fiber optic networking, proprietary facial recognition software, multiple fail-safe data centers, cloud-compatible intelligence sharing, 24-hour customer support and service. In short, we have everything Abstergo needs to protect its unique intellectual property and more. The future is in Bloom. CTOS and Bloom. CTOS, the future is in Bloom. We look forward to working with you. Okay, so is Bloom the actual people that do the security around here? We're getting through pretty easy, so, I mean, they can't be that good. I guess we are an employee, so we sort of had access, but I don't know. Talk to Melanie and LeMay about rewards and bonuses. Huh. Don't remember doing that. Okay, this is just a little diary, basically, of what we did before. Alright, I don't think we really need to read into that too much. If I decide to look at it later and I miss something, I'll make a point to mention it. And I think that we have done enough for today. So that means we're going to end this episode. We'll jump back in, most likely into the Animus right away. I'd like to thank you all for watching so much. Please do like, comment, subscribe, do just all the YouTube things. And we will see you next time. Please have a wonderful time. And goodbye.